What's up, guys? G Murph from Mission DJ here. Today I want to talk about small gigs and how beneficial they are. Check it out. We're going to talk about small gigs today. All right, so small gigs are necessary, and I'm going to tell you why. There's also some benefits to smaller gigs. So I know everyone's got their sights set on the prize, which are the bigger pop-in parties at bars and different venues, even private parties, what have you. Those will come, but you have to kind of do your time with the smaller gigs. And not to mention, smaller gigs are not going to go away. So if you're a working DJ, expect to always have a smaller gig here and there. You may even have a night at a bar or a venue or a club that is just a chill crowd, and it ends up being a smaller type of night, not as much revenue coming in. There's a lot of different ways that you can help promote that night, but that's for a different video. I just want to hammer home the fact that smaller gigs are beneficial in a lot of ways. You can learn a lot from them, so stick with them and don't turn them down unless they're free. I don't recommend doing any gigs for free unless you're donating your services for a legitimate cause, or it's an in for sure to more gigs with a particular client or venue. Okay, but be very wary. Okay, so small gigs, take them, get used to them. All right, guys, number 2, you can earn your biggest fans at the smallest gigs. And let me tell you why. So say you're there with a small group of people and you get one person dancing. If you keep them dancing, that's their own party. You're throwing a party for that individual, guy or gal, old or young. If they have the courage to dance, keep them going. Don't worry about the other people not dancing. They're going to have a great time. They're going to remember that for a long time. Not to mention, they are the entertainment for the rest of the crowd, if it's even a crowd, right? So the few people at the bar staff, congratulations. You just sparked the entertainment for the night. Your music is hopefully creating a vibe, but you cracked someone to dance and they're going. So hopefully they bring more friends on the dance floor, but if not, they might sit down after a couple dances. That's fine. But those people are going to love it because they're not afraid to dance, and they're also not afraid to give you feedback. And most likely they're going to come up to you afterwards and say, hey, that was awesome. I'll see you next time, at least in my experience. And it's been fun. I've earned some really big fans at my smaller gigs. They keep coming back to see me, so it's great. It's excellent. Keep that going. Keep that a motivator. Number 3, at smaller gigs, you can get experimental with your music. You can have fun with it, okay? So every weekend you go out and you hear mostly the same type of music, the same energy of music, the turn-up music, and a lot of the same songs. And that's fine. That they're songs that work, they're tracks that work and get people dancing. That's what we want. However, there's a good number of people out there that don't particularly like those songs. So if you can create a unique experience at the venue, the bar, the party that you're at with the smaller crowd, it gives you leeway. It gives you a runway to work with. It gives you more space to work with and experiment through your library, which is hopefully vast. So you can go all different angles and see what works and see what gets this person's head bobbing, what gives this other person a shimmy. You can see what different people like. And so you can then check mark those songs and save them in a crate okay, maybe this might work in a bigger crowd. So use the smaller gigs to get experimental and have fun with it. Just play tracks that you haven't played in a while, or that you're, maybe too shy to play in front of other crowds because they're your personal favorites. So have fun with it. Number 4, this is where you can try out new routines, new techniques, new transitions, something you've been working on in the bedroom, okay? It's a smaller crowd, less pressure. If you're in front of a big bar crowd or a big club crowd or a corporate crowd, God forbid, who probably don't care about routines or scratching or anything, you know, there might be negative feedback there, or at least pressure that might be too much for you to complete the routine or new technique that you're trying out correctly. So, smaller crowds, less pressure, more leeway with doing routines. I'm not saying go in there and scratch the whole night. No one wants to hear that. No one. At all. Unless it's a Red Bull 3 style. I'm just saying pepper it in. That's a good time to pepper it in and experiment with it. And again, have fun with it. So try new routines, try new transitions that might be more difficult in front of bigger crowds. All right, the fifth and final point, number 5, smaller gigs can lead to bigger gigs. If you do a good job with no crowd or a little crowd, people are gonna notice. Like I said, your biggest fans before, they might bring more people back and make it an actual night. The people that are there that are enjoying the one person, hopefully, or more that you've made dance are gonna remember that. And they might come back and bring more people. The bar staff is gonna know that you can make something out of nothing. Okay, so they're gonna call you back. They're gonna keep you there, hopefully. If you're at least creating a vibe, you have to do your part. You can't just sit there and be negative and say, oh, the crowd's not here, I'm just gonna play crap music and not care about my transitions. No, put your all into it and people are gonna notice. And it's really good practice. Think of it as like just practice. It's the best practice out there. Okay, so if you stay authentic and stay hard and don't go soft and start complaining, then those smaller gigs are gonna lead to more gigs, if not bigger gigs. All right, guys, so have fun starting out. If you have any questions about these smaller gigs or have your own experiences, I'd love to hear them. But smaller gigs are great. Bigger gigs are obviously the eye on the prize, although some people might not want that. If you're happy doing small gigs, awesome. If it makes you living or satisfies your desire to make this a hobby, then perfect. But don't discount them. They're very valuable. All right, guys, mission accomplished. Keep going.